So a little video on catback exhaust. You have a mentality out there that's been around for a long time, and it's still goes on today, that bigger is better. And people think that, gee, get a larger diameter exhaust pipe, I want to make more power. And that's not really true, especially on a street vehicle. Now there comes a point where, yes, as your cubic inches get bigger on the engine and you're making more and more power, that you have to go to a larger diameter pipe in order to make all that power. And the reason you want a certain size exhaust pipe is for the exhaust velocity. You have to keep your velocity up inside the pipes so that you get effective cylinder scavenging. And cylinder scavenging is pulling out the spin exhaust gases from the cylinder before the intake allows the new air and fuel mixture to enter the cylinder. So the more spin exhaust gases you remove, the more air and new fuel, clean fuel, you can add to that cylinder, because it's not completely filled up with spin exhaust gases. What happens is when you start going larger and larger pipe sizes, the velocity of your exhaust gases is compromised. It starts slowing down. That means your cylinder scavenging is no longer as effective. And this is off the Borla site right here in their question and answer section. And the question is a bigger pipe and muffler system better? And this is Borla's answer. No, has to be a balanced design to enhance the maximum engine output, exhaust gas velocity, and sound. If the diameter of the tubing is too large, the exhaust gas velocity will be reduced and rob the exhaust of thermal efficiency. Unfortunately, we often disprove accepted racer mentalities like bigger is better. We must spend a great deal of energy explaining to someone how a 4-inch exhaust pipe will not work as effectively as a 3-inch pipe. That is hard sometimes, but it is why we have magazine editors. Even with our excellent track record winning more professional car races than all the other muffler makers combined, we still often have to prove our theories to well-known top racers. One of these issues is volume versus velocity. The late John Lingenfelter helped us prove this over and over with his legendary Corvette exploits. People were often amazed how he would run 600 plus horsepower Vettes with 2.5-inch exhaust. If 4 inches would have made John go faster, he would have run it. We need to have a pipe large enough to overcome the boundary layer restriction in a dynamic flow situation while maintaining exhaust speed and evacuation. This isn't a simple axiom to understand, but the second best explanation is to say in race classes where, let's say, the budgets are seldom limited and the rules are not restrictive regarding exhaust, you will observe much smaller exhaust header tubing and exhaust pipes than some kids run on their 190 horsepower hand-me-down Honda Sports compacts on the street. So there you have it. Borla is basically the leader in exhaust systems. They've been doing them for over 40 years. Borla uses nothing but T304 stainless steel for their exhaust systems because it's the absolute best that you can use. It'll withstand the harshness of being outside and the harshness of conditions. So that's why they have such a good warranty. But this mentality of bigger is better is wrong. I see many people wanting to go with dual exhaust on their Tacomas, and that's about the worst thing you can do. The reason why, once you add that second pipe coming out from behind that catalytic converter, you've just increased the volume of the exhaust pipes and you've killed the velocity of the spin exhaust gases. So that's why you want to avoid them dual pipes coming out on a Tacoma. You know, the V6 or the 4-cylinder, neither one is really a very powerful engine. And what you find is those people that do the dual exhaust pipes on them will lose low end torque and mid-range torque. Also, you have a lot of companies out there that are pushing a 3-inch exhaust pipe. Well, just like Borla explained in the question and answer there, bigger is not always better. And in this case, Toyota uses a 2.5-inch exhaust. And that's a good size exhaust. I mean, look at John Lingenfelter used 2.5-inch on his 600 plus horsepower Corvettes. We're not going to get anywhere near that in a Tacoma. So Toyota is using 2.5-inch stock. The Borla catback and many other catbacks out there are 2.5 inch as well. That is the correct size to use on your Tacoma. Also, run it out as a single exhaust is the best way to do it, because that's going to retain your low end torque and your mid-range torque. Now, muffler technology will have a lot to do with that too. Some muffler designs are just not very good designs. Borla is a straight through design. They have patented a lot of their designs, and it keeps your gas velocity up. So the best thing you can do is maintain a 2.5-inch exhaust system on your Tacoma. Make it a single exhaust. Avoid the dual exhaust, because you're just going to hurt your own performance. It's too much pipe. And avoid the 3-inch exhaust, because again, now you're making the pipe bigger, you're hurting the gas velocity. So remain with the 2.5-inch, and you'll be far better off. You won't lose that low end torque nor that mid-range torque. I just installed the Borla catback on my Tacoma. Mine's a 4-cylinder. Borla technically doesn't make a catback for the 4-cylinder. However, the catback system that they make for the 6-cylinder does fit the 4-cylinder. You just have to change out your exhaust hangers to a little bit longer ones, and I have a video that shows you all of that. And this system will fit. You will also have to buy the extension pipe for the 4-cylinder Tacoma, because the flange coming off the back of the catalytic converter is farther forward on the 4-cylinder, where the Y pipe on the 6-cylinder comes back behind the cross member. So it happens to be the exact amount that extension pipe is. So everything is bolt up if you want to do a catback on your 2.7. Those with the 3.5 V6, this is a complete bolt-in system. No, you don't have to change anything out. Just unbolt the old one and bolt in the new ones. If you want to do it on the 2.7, you do need to buy the extension pipe, and you do need to buy new rubber isolator hangers, which are cheap. They're not expensive at all. And again, I have another video that shows you what hangers you need, and I even put in descriptions and names and part numbers on the hangers. So if you have a 2.7 on a catback, the Borla system will fit. But this bigger is better is not true. It can hurt your performance. You know, so many times, I remember in the past, everybody used to run down, they buy their pickup, they go get the Flowmaster muffler put on it and run duals out the back when it was a single exhaust, and every single time low end torque was hurt. It just was gone. So keep that in mind, and understand that smaller pipes are actually better in 99% of the cases, especially on a street vehicle. Because how often are you riding around at full throttle? You're not. You're riding around at probably no more than a third throttle most of the time. Half throttle at most in traffic situations. So, that's where you want your torque to be. You don't want to lose that torque. And by going to too big of a pipe, your 3-inch pipes, or running the dual 2.5-inch pipes out, that's just way too much pipe, and all you're doing is hurting your own performance. So I hope this kind of helps explain that a little bit. And if you're looking for a good catback for your 2.7, Borla has one that will fit.